Welcome to the Private Practice Startup Podcast, where we help mental health professionals grow their dream practices and live a life they love. We chat with successful private practitioners, business coaches, and marketing experts, bringing you tons of practice building tips. We invite you to take advantage of our private practice paperwork and our signature marketing e-course. And we have a gift for you. This is the exact methodology we use to create our six-figure private pay practices and have helped many other therapists do the same. Go to privatepracticestartup.com and on the homepage, click the button to download a free copy of your dream private practice playbook. Now on to today's episode.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Private Practice Startup Podcast. This is our last episode of 2023 as we move into 2024, which will then be 8 years of podcasting,
Wow.
which is crazy to me.
That's unbelievable.
And I'm sure Kate, I know, right? That's crazy. What a great topic, though, to end our year with. And we just had an awesome podcast with Andrew Reason of Heard, talking about 3 common mistakes therapists make on their taxes. And we'll be talking about money again today, and building your practice and serving your clients the best way that you can, and good stuff to really just nosh on at the end of the year as you are preparing for the holidays and the new year. So who is our guest today? Our guest is Christine Lee. Christine is the founder and CEO of Mentaya. Her background is in computer science. Christine is a strong advocate for mental health and left her job as a Google product manager to start Mentaya. Mentaya is a company that helps private practice therapists collect their full cash rate by taking advantage of out-of-network benefits. So you did hear that correctly. This is a new technology on the scene.
Say that again.
Yes. Mentaya is a company that helps private practice therapists collect their full cash rate by taking advantage of out-of-network benefits. And Christine's going to tell us all about that. We've already watched the video. We're inspired. We're super excited to be able to share this information with you. But before I introduce Christine, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor before we dive right in.
Directories can be a good source for new clients, but which directories are really worth it? Well, according to an extensive review of therapist directories by Very Well Mind, more than 90% of therapists recommend Mental Health Match. We love Mental Health Match because they understand that the therapeutic relationship starts even before the client contacts you. They've set up their directory to give clients a sense of confidence in you as a clinician and connection with you as a person. Their smart matching technology makes sure you only hear from clients who are a good fit for your practice. And referrals come with insightful information about the client, their presenting problems, and what they seek in a therapist. With over 10,000 clients coming every week, Mental Health Match is a great way to find the clients you want. Erin Moore, a New Jersey therapist, said, "I've been getting almost 2 referrals a week from Mental Health Match, and I like their ability to match me with my niche clients. These clients reflect my skill sets, and they come ready and open to the therapeutic process. This is energizing for both the therapist and clients. We could not agree more. And now you can try Mental Health Match for free for 90 days. Just go to mentalhealthmatch.com and use referral code STARTUP. That's mentalhealthmatch.com and referral code STARTUP.
Christine, officially welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be on this podcast.
Yeah, when Kate and I watched your video, we're like, yes, yes, and more yes. And how do we book her ASAP? We definitely want to talk about this. So we're really excited to have you. And just share with us a little bit about your backstory. Like, you were at Google, product manager. You are a strong advocate for mental health. A lot of times we find people have a personal story of why they want to serve therapists. Share with us your story.
Yeah, so I've been interested in mental health for a long time. I went to a high school with a lot of mental health issues. And so I think I saw the impact that it had on people's lives. And I think it kind of just stuck with me ever since. I wouldn't say that I was necessarily interested in mental health. And like all of a sudden, I'm like a super strong mental health advocate. I think, to be honest, I don't even think I knew really what mental health was. Back then, we didn't really have the words to talk about it like we do now, and it was still very stigmatized. But I think just, in the back of my head, I kind of realized, and I studied computer science in college, but I ended up always just being drawn towards, psychology, neuroscience, and just the mental health space. And so I've been really excited about it and following it for a really long time. and ended up going to tech, which is why I went to Google and became a product manager there. But I think in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to, either join or start my own mental health company and to really just try to make a difference in the space. I'd also considered becoming a therapist, and I still kind of want to do that at some point in my life. But it's definitely something that I care a lot about and has really been a strong reason why I started Mentaya. It wasn't like I just wanted to start a company. It was like I wanted to do something in the mental health space to help both clients and therapists and sort of see if there's a way to create a win-win solution for both.
Beautiful.
Very cool. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Palo Alto, California. So I don't know it's a great place to grow up, but also we had, I think the environment, we were surrounded by a lot of success and especially in tech. And I think there was a lot of pressure put on people, on some of, myself and my classmates in high school. And I think that led to a lot of mental health issues that unfortunately cost people their lives. So
a lot of hidden mental health issues too, a lot of depression. People are high achievers. It's interesting you say Palo Alto. So for our marriage and family therapist crew, which Kate and I are, we do know Palo Alto because one of our models of therapy was born there, which is the MRI model. So very familiar with the name Palo Alto, never visited, but yes, it always reminds me. Very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about Mentaya and what you are creating in this space, which is uniquely different than anything we've seen. And we're very excited about it.
Thank you. Yeah, a big part of what inspired me to create Mentaya was wanting to do something that was where the incentives were aligned. I think a lot of times in healthcare, I've noticed that a lot of mental health companies are helping make mental health care more accessible by not paying therapists as well. Like, great, you're making it more accessible, but it's not really done in a sustainable way. And so our mission at Mentaya is to make high quality mental health care accessible, but in a sustainable way for therapists. And so when I was looking to the space, I think this was early COVID. This was 2020. And a lot of my friends had started going to therapy for the first time. I'd been to therapy before, but I was always like, yes, go to therapy. It's great. And so always a big proponent of therapy for people. But especially when a lot of therapists, especially in California and in San Francisco, don't take insurance. And so I've heard a lot of, it's kind of expensive. I don't know about it. And then I found out about out-of-network benefits. And I was like, why don't more people know about this? Because people don't realize that just because your therapist does not take insurance or maybe doesn't take your specific insurance, that doesn't mean you can't use your insurance benefits to cover part of the cost through filing out-of-network claims and understanding your out-of-network benefits. And so when I realized that, I was like, I asked around, a lot of people didn't really know about it. I talked to a bunch of therapists and they were like, well, I give my clients a super bill, or like I tell them they can call their insurance company and figure it out, but I don't want to deal with insurance since it's kind of on them. And so there just felt like there was this gap in the market where there are thousands of dollars per client potentially being left on the table because people aren't claiming and utilizing their insurance benefits that they have to just get this money back from therapy. And so that's really sort of how Mentaya came about to be.
Beautiful. Cool. Yes, it is a loophole that, going through the out-of-network benefits when people have a PPO plan. And then a lot of therapists just don't even want to deal with that and don't even want to take the time to create the super bill. And then clients can get overwhelmed with that as well, going back and forth and submitting it to the insurance, or maybe it doesn't have the right codes. So there is definitely a gap there, and it's a problem. And it's amazing that you found a way to serve both therapists so that they can get paid more for the services that they're providing, and then also helping clients at the same time. So tell us a little bit about Mentaya and how it works.
Yes. So I think most therapists, either they just have no idea about out-of-network benefits, or they're like, oh, I give clients a super bill, or I give them the option and that should be fine. Like, why would I need to change anything? And I think what people don't realize is, well, one, clients might just be like, I don't even know what a super bill is. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to submit it. There are some clients who are like, okay, like I've done my research. I can kind of understand it. I don't know what my out-of-network benefits are. I have to call my insurance company. It's this whole hassle. Sometimes you submit the claim and we've heard insurance companies just like reject it. Clients just can't figure out how to get their money back, or it takes like months or like a year to even hear back from insurance companies. And so with Mentaya, we want to take the burden off of the clients and the therapists so that we take on the burden of dealing with all the insurance out of network billing stuff so that the therapist and client can just focus on the therapy and making sure that they get to focus on the things that they actually care about. No one wants to do billing or this sort of admin work. And so with Mentaya, we have two parts to our product. The first part is we have this instant benefits calculator because it starts with this educational component of what is out of network benefits? Do I even have that? This is something that therapists can use to immediately check clients' benefits or send it to the client themselves to check themselves. All you need is, name, date of birth, and member ID. And within a few seconds, we will automatically tell you, do you have out of network benefits? What's your deductible? How much you can get reimbursed, etc. And this has been super helpful for therapists to win over some private pay clients who may not otherwise be okay paying their full fee. Once people realize they can get reimbursed, they're more likely to be like, oh, wow, like it's not as expensive as I thought it would be after reimbursement. So I'll kind of pause here. That's the first part. Happy to explain the second piece as well, but I'll kind of pause here because I know it was kind of a lot of information.
Gotcha. So just kind of overall in summary of how it works is you guys all take on the burden of filling that gap between therapists and clients and getting paid because it is very confusing for both. And, Kate was kind of sharing about this is that, many therapists who are private paid choose to be private paid because they don't want the burden of dealing with the insurance companies because, per hour, then the rate goes down because you could be on the phone for a half an hour or 45 minutes, an hour and get nowhere when dealing with insurance. So it's definitely very frustrating. And I love this out of network benefits calculator that you all have. So before we go to the next point, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor. Let's face it, whenever the federal government institutes new policies, it can be very confusing and overwhelming. As a therapist in private practice, you need to assure your paperwork is up to par with the legal and ethical requirements. In January 2022, the government released a new regulation for medical professionals, including therapists, called the No Surprises Act. But don't stress trying to figure out everything you need to know about the new act and requirements. We've got you covered. This is for therapists who are private pay or work with clients who choose not to use their insurance. So unless you work exclusively with insurance, it is essential to abide by this regulation. We are giving you our good faith estimate bundle for free. It includes attorney-approved customizable templates, a required website statement, a script with a video that goes step by step on how to discuss this with your clients. And don't forget to check out the podcast with our healthcare law attorney answering all your questions about the Good Faith Estimate and No Surprises Act. Download your free Good Faith Estimate bundle, a total value of $249, but you get it for free by visiting our website, privatepracticestartup.com. Look under the resources tabs and there you'll see it there. Go to privatepracticestartup.com under the resources tab. All right. So how it works, the out of networks benefit, and then what's kind of the next step on how it works, Christine?
So let's say you have a client and they have these out of network benefits. They're ready to start therapy with you. You're like, great, awesome, let's start. And they're like, but how do I actually get reimbursed? And so you have the option to say, hey, like I can give you a super bill. You can figure it out yourself. Or you can say, hey, I actually work with Mentaya, which will take care of all of that for you. And essentially what you need to do as a therapist is you sign up, your client signs up for an account, and that's pretty much, and everything's set up. That's pretty much it on the client side. And on the therapist side, all we need to know is just when the session has happened every week, just so that we're submitting claims for sessions that have actually happened. And we will automatically submit the claim to insurance. If it gets denied for whatever reason, we'll take care of the denials. We basically guarantee a successful claim submission or a full refund of our fees. And so we sort of give the peace of mind to the therapist and the client that we deal with everything and we completely shield clients and therapists from ever having to directly deal with insurance.
So the clients are paying for the services at the time of services. The therapists are getting paid their full fee, and then the therapist lets the clients know that they can work with Mentaya. The therapist is working with Mentaya. They're set up as a provider for you. Is that how it works? And then also the client?
Yes, it's actually a really Yeah, it's actually a really simple platform. I think people, when they think, oh, there's this new platform, it's this whole thing, and people are always so surprised at how simple and easy it is. And so as a therapist, to go into pricing a little bit, the benefits calculator is normally $29 a month. It's month to month. That is paid by the therapist, and that is optional. That is something that if you're getting new clients, it's helpful for you. You can subscribe to. You can, if you don't need it, you can use the rest of our platform entirely for free as a therapist. And as a client, you're right, we charge clients at the time of claim submission. Therapist gets paid their full fee. You can bill through our platform or continue billing through your existing billing system, but you're getting always paid your full fee up front. We charge the clients a 5% fee. So if the session is $200, we charge them $10. If the session is $100, we charge them $5. So 5% of the session fee at the time of claim submission. And on average, we get clients reimbursed about 70% back once they meet their deductible. And so for most people, it's a no-brainer. Like you're paying 5% to basically get around 70% back on therapy.
No-brainer is right. Wow.
Yeah.
So
and how long does a claim usually take?
You're reading my mind.
It can vary a lot depending on the insurance company. Our average is that it takes 17 days for the claim to process. Of course, if it comes in the form of, a check in the mail, it might take additional processing time for the check to actually, come in the mail. A lot of clients have direct deposit, so it comes immediately, but it can vary so much. Some people get their claims processed within a few days, and others it can take several weeks or upwards of a month, but it just really depends on the specific insurance company and insurance plan. But when we try to submit it, one thing we do is we try to always submit it exactly correctly the first time around, so that we don't deal with, once it's submitted incorrectly, you have to redo it, it's delayed, it's this whole process. And so we've sort of figured out the ins and outs and know the different rules and the things that insurance companies care about to make sure that it's submitted correctly and immediately after every session. So it's as quick as it could possibly be.
And then after you guys submit the claim to the insurance company, the reimbursement for the client on the client side, that comes directly through the insurance company to them, or does it flow through Mentaya?
Exactly. It goes directly through them. So rest assured, we are not taking any sort of additional cut or anything. It is literally from the insurance company directly to the client.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
What an amazing service.
Yeah. I'm like, how did you figure out the magic potion to this gap? That's amazing. It's mind blowing, really.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a process. I think I'd realized that this was an issue because the idea of calling an insurance company, even the start of do I even have these benefits, right? A lot of therapists are like, you can call your insurance company, here's a script, here are the questions you can ask. But who wants to call their insurance company? It's only open, during typical work hours. You have to carve out time in the middle of the day to call them. They transfer you around, they give you some answers. Sometimes they accidentally hang up. It is a frustrating thing to do for anyone who's ever dealt with calling insurance companies, as I'm sure you understand. So it started there of just wanting to educate people do I even have these out of network benefits? And then the claim submission piece, it's if you can figure out this whole system yourself as a client, that's great. But imagine every single client having to go and figure this out for themselves, how much time is spent on this and how many people just give up at some point in the process. So we're sort of this central solution so that every client doesn't have to go through the hassle of figuring out all of this for themselves. They can just say, all right, Mentaya will take care of it. I don't have to deal with it. And then we've also heard from therapists that this helps their therapeutic relationship as well, because you're saying hey, I'm basically working with the service or providing this as an option for you to do to ease the burden off of you, so you don't have to deal with your insurance claims and bills and things like that.
Absolutely. And I'm curious about the benefits calculator. Once people type in their information, how quickly does that work?
It literally takes seconds. It can take, I don't know if it depends on the insurance again, but it can be as quick as 2 seconds and take as long as 5 seconds, but it's pretty immediate. It's not like you're sitting there waiting for multiple minutes or hours for it to calculate. It's pretty fast.
So no matter what plan people have, you're able to just instantaneously pull that information up for them so they can see without having to get on the phone, without having to waste so much time, on hold with these insurance companies trying to figure out their benefits.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I wouldn't say every single possible insurance. Most insurances for sure, most of the time. But if for whatever reason our automated benefits calculator cannot get it immediately, we have this form that you can fill out and we will be the ones to manually call insurance for you and check your benefits so that you don't have to. The idea is that we want to shield people from ever having to do it themselves. And so whether it's through our automated benefits calculator or it's someone on our team literally manually calling insurance to check it for you, that's sort of a service that we provide. It's a full service that comes with, the monthly fee that you pay.
Gotcha.
Wow. That's amazing. I would pay $29 a month for someone just to hang out on the phone and ask questions for. I had a situation with my medical health insurance that lasted for 6 months. The doctor didn't code the blood work correctly, and then they were charging me like $2,000, and then they sent me to collections. And then it wasn't until the third person 6 months down the road that was like, well, it states there in your EOB. I said, tell me exactly where it is, because this is like in a completely different language. And she goes, I know. And I was like, well, what's wrong? She's like, your blood work doesn't have a diagnosis code. I was like, if someone could have told me that, because I'm going back and forth between the lab and the insurance for 6 months, getting threatened about being sent to collections. At some point, you're just like, maybe I should just pay this so I don't get sent to collections. But it's like crazy making in the time that you spend on the phone. It's just very, very frustrating. So, I mean, this is just like an amazing, amazing solution, Christine.
Yeah, we have saved people so much time. I mean, I've heard anecdotally, like people, a lot of them sign up because they're like, I've spent so many hours with insurance. I don't know what's going on with my claims. It's been a year and I haven't heard back from them. I haven't got anything back. And so we're really just trying to ease the pain from people from having to deal with that, because it is a complicated system and it doesn't make sense for every single person who shouldn't have to understand the intricacies of the system to go and have to go figure it out just to get reimbursed for therapy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So do you have like someone on your team who's like an insurance insider and knows all the, you're like,
we do.
Yeah, that's our secret clutch right there.
Exactly. And honestly, working in the space for a while, we're all learning so much about it. And it takes so much time to understand, this insurance needs this insurance needs this to be coded differently. Like there's different modifiers and things that we have to code in. And so it's definitely something that we've built up over the years.
Now, I'm sure many people listening are just in awe at what you're providing, because it's such an amazing solution, solves such a big problem. How would you recommend therapists introduce this to their clients? How would you recommend they introduce the idea? Because the clients sometimes, when they're paying already $200 a session or more, they can maybe get nervous about, how do I introduce yet another thing, although it's going to help them reduce the cost and get so much more money back. So just tell us how you would recommend therapists to introduce this to clients so that it doesn't feel like, one more thing to ask of them.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I think that we do have a script that therapists can use. When you sign up for Mentaya, we have a whole script for you. You can copy and paste or, modify it however you want. But it essentially goes like, hey, I don't take insurance. I do want to, provide you with a resource that if you choose to use can maybe help you out. And I've partnered with Mentaya, which can, check your benefits and help you file out of network claims for a fee of 5% per claim. It is completely optional. As a therapist, I don't benefit from your participation in any direct way. And it is just a resource for you to use. And they've helped, clients save thousands of dollars on therapy. You don't have to use it, no pressure at all. But this is something that I've heard has been helpful for clients. And so presenting it in a way that is like, I'm providing you with this great resource, but not putting any pressure on them to use it is usually the way that we've heard has worked really well. And I think a lot of clients naturally hear about it and they're like, oh, like, of course I would use this. It's a no-brainer. There are going to be some clients who are like, I've already figured out the super build process. Like, I don't need it. And that's completely fine. We're here to just help people who could really benefit from it.
Okay.
I love that you guys even created a script. That's amazing.
Yeah. We want to make it really easy to do.
Yes.
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Good question, Kate. Any other questions, Kate?
No, I just love the platform. I think it's amazing, and I look forward to diving in more. Yeah. Sign me up.
I think this is excited for you to try it out. I think.
Yeah.
No, I mean this is something that not just helps clients, but we want to empower therapists to make their full fee and charge their full cash rate. Because I know a lot of therapists, you go into the field, you want to help people, and you're kind of sucked into the system where you either have to decide between taking insurance or being private pay. And I know a lot of therapists think a little bit about like, if I have my full fee or if I charge my full fee, am I going to be able to fill my caseload? Is it going to feel like I'm not accessible to clients? And so with Mentaya, these are sort of the problems that we're trying to solve on the therapist side, where we want to empower you as a therapist to be able to charge your full fee comfortably, be able to make a sustainable living while making sure you can, fill up your caseload and hopefully feel more accessible to clients as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And just a reminder, so whether you're already full fee anyway, right, or you do take insurance or you're a hybrid, don't forget, as of January 1st, 2022, the government has said that we have to do our good faith estimate. So if, you are utilizing Mentaya and someone's choosing to use their out-of-network benefits, make sure you go ahead and give them a good faith estimate, and you can get our bundle for free. We'll go ahead and put that in the show notes. We have a script, we have a video, we have a podcast, we have all that great stuff to support you in this process as well. And then I know, Christine, you guys have a giveaway for our audience, which I don't know, I already feel like your platform is so generous. And now you have a giveaway, which is amazing. What is the giveaway?
So we have a special code for everyone who's listening. It's PPS. If you use the code PPS when you sign up, you get to use Mentaya for free for 30 days completely. So it's essentially a free 30-day trial of our instant benefits calculator that is normally $29 a month. And so for 30 days, you can use everything completely for free. Try it out. I encourage you to it takes 30 seconds to sign up and try it out. If it's helpful for your practice, you can always subscribe to the benefits calculator or continue using it. If it's not helpful, you just want to use the claims piece, that's totally fine as well. We have both options.
Awesome.
I do have one. Go ahead, Katie. I do have one more question after that.
No, Mentaya is spelled Mentaya. So Mentaya.com. Go ahead, Kate.
Yes. I'm just curious about timing. Let's say that a clinician joins Mentaya. They're signed up for your benefits calculator, and they're educating and informing their current clients on their caseload and then new clients as well about the Mentaya services. What's the time frame as far as when the clients can join Mentaya for the claims being submitted? Is there a limit to that? So if someone already has, let's say they have 15 clients on their caseload and they're active clients, so they've already been in session for however long they've been seeing the therapist, is there a certain amount of time for a cutoff about when they could bill for the therapy that's already taken place? Does that make sense?
Oh, yes. That's a really good question. So you're talking about let's say a client has out-of-network benefits, but they haven't been using them for the last, several months. Yes. So generally, it depends on the specific insurance company, but there is something called a timely filing limit for claims, which means after a session, the claims have to be filed. It's usually for out-of-network, usually either within 180 days or 365 days.
Oh, wow.
And so those are the rough benchmarks. And so we have people join all the time and they're like, my clients love it. Like, can they submit for, all these past sessions that they haven't been using their benefits for? And we're like, yes, we can totally do that. Of course, if you're like, we have sessions from 2021, we're like, well, unfortunately, that does not work. Insurance companies are not going to accept that. But if it's from earlier this year, that's generally totally fine to do.
Amazing. Wow.
That is amazing.
Good stuff. I have no words. That I'm just impressed. I'm very
no
impressed.
more questions from me.
No, very good. Thank you so much, Christine. So definitely check out that free month code PPS as in private practice startup at Mentaya.com. Christine, just amazing stuff. We're really looking forward to, pushing this podcast out, but really spreading the word about what you all do. This is just a huge impact to the community. So thank you for your contribution with your computer science background, as well as your team and your real push for mental health. So we appreciate that. We hope that you guys join us next time. As I think these podcasts, we pick them perfectly like topic wise, right? So Kate and I are going to be talking about how to boost client retention rates. Well, Mentaya is definitely one of them to do. So join us next time as we talk about that. Kate?
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, Christine. And Startup Nation, Happy New Year if you're listening to this when it releases, because it is the last episode for the year. But I'm sure whenever you're listening, it's going to be super valuable. And we just always want to make sure that we're creating content that meets your needs along the journey in private practice. So if there's a topic that we have not had on yet, or you're interested in being in a guest or recommending someone to be on the podcast, definitely let us know. We love to hear from you, and we want to encourage you to subscribe, rate, and review the show. And of course, share it with your friends and fellow colleagues. So Happy New Year, everyone. And we will see you soon in a couple weeks. Take care. Thanks for joining us on The Private Practice Startup. Visit theprivatepracticestartup.com for awesome resources, free trainings, attorney-approved private practice paperwork, and so much more.